Good morning, everyone. We're here for the Sunday Mindset session. Lots going on Sunday mornings. As always, Luke Moroney here and Tony Meredith. Together, we put together the Sunday Mindset session to give you some insights, some know-hows about what is happening with our minds. Today, we're talking about overwhelm, and it's really fitting today because Tony's in a position where he kind of last minute put it all together and has found himself out the front of his place instead of being out in a park area because he was not so mindful this morning about our Sunday Mindset session. And how could you forget, Tony? It's been 103 weeks in a row.
Look, it wasn't that I forgot, it's that I was preoccupied with my little white ball of fluff, my little dog. So my little dog just got desexed last week, had the cone off on Wednesday, so we were just having a bit of a roll around on the carpet and having a bit of fun. And then my daughter said to me, "Dad, where are you doing your speech today?" I said, "Oh, shit, that's right." So out the front of my place is the answer to that question.
Tony, we can put ourselves in a state of overwhelm on a constant basis. There is so much we can concern ourselves with, have issues with,
Yes.
worry about. And all these mumbo jumbo things in our mind can then create this overwhelm, and we do nothing. We get stuck. We spoke about it in previous weeks. So, Tony, give us a bit of an all-around view of the overwhelm.
Well, it's exactly that, Luke. It's that people have a goal for themselves, but then in between where they are and their goal is probably 101, 1,001 different things that they need to do. And even though they have this goal out there, they haven't broken things down into bite-sized chunks. And so they're looking at the end goal and thinking, "Oh my gosh, I've never done that thing before. How could I possibly go and do that? It's a big goal for myself." And they're focusing on that piece there, which is not allowing them to focus on what it is that you need to do in front of you. And quite often when people go and set 5-year goals, there's nothing wrong with setting a 5-year goal or a 3-year goal, etc. I make a living out of people doing it. But the missing ingredient is then the steps that are between where your goal is and where you are today. And what are the small incremental steps that I can just keep doing on a daily basis, maybe an hourly basis? There might be some things that you do, within the day consistently, that then over a period of time, you look back and you go, "Oh my gosh, like I've absolutely moved the needle," as opposed to thinking about, "I've got this huge mountain to climb and I've never climbed this mountain before and I've just got no clue."
Yeah, absolutely. There's, I talk with people on a constant basis, and I guess the term instant gratification comes up. And if we want that, and we want that so quickly, we want that success so quickly, not achieving that in a short amount of time is going to could put us in a state of overwhelm. It's like, why am I not achieving it? Why am I not doing it? And you get to a position where you start beating yourself up around it. And those layers of issues start to build up on top of each other, Tony.
Oh, of course I do. Well, then all of a sudden the talk gets in and I'm not good enough and I've got doubts and I don't believe and all those types of things. Go back to your comment on instant gratification. I agree with you, with the whole advent of social media and the fact that we post something, we sit there and want to see a like and a like and a like. And what that means is that you put your whole emotional well-being into the hands of other people. If you do a post and you sit there and think to yourself, "Well, how many likes can I get?" and all those types of things, and oh my gosh, and no one liked it, and I feel like what you're doing is you can't control any of that. And so your emotional well-being is in a state of flux, right? Because that's beyond your control. What you can do if you're you recognize that you're into instant gratification. I talk about this all the time. REE stands for reward every effort. So if you go and call an agent today, reward yourself. It might be a reward with a walk around the block. It might be a go and have a cup of coffee. It might be whatever it might be. There is the way that you can reward because you've done something that you can control. Now, we're not talking about, hey, whether you've secured a property or whether you've signed up a new customer or whatever it might be. It's what can I do? And what I can do is I can make those calls.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Tony Gallagher.
Tony Meredith's here. Yep, present.
Yeah. Sean's come on. Christine says that she's feeling overwhelmed. Good morning, says David. So, Christine, if you're
Well, we'd
feeling
love to explore that, Christine. If you're feeling overwhelmed, we'd love to, help you out this morning. So if you could share with us some bits and pieces, and obviously share what it is that you can, but share with us some bits and pieces, and let's see if we can help you within the next 30 or so minutes to give you some tips and tricks, so that this week you can starting today. Actually, no, but this week you can start to feel less overwhelmed.
Well, I probably know a little bit about Christine's story, but in terms of, and I won't go too much away of personal
Sure,
details,
yeah.
thinking about, like, I guess there's different moving pieces in life on a general space, and they can all sort of lay themselves out. And you kind of think about, you might feel overwhelmed at work, but that also might bring you into a space of feeling overwhelmed, and so much is going on in family life, so much is going on in social life, or so much is going on with the side business. So it might not only be one thing that is overwhelming you. It might be several different pieces there that are lingering, and then you just don't know where to move and what to do, Tony.
Yeah, and look, and can I say that with that scenario, we all have moments like that. There are multiple things that are going on in my life right now. Some are going well, some are not going very well, and we don't have long enough for me to talk about the not going well components, right? So, but it's about recognizing that, yes, if there's all those types of things, what's the first thing that I do? And from an overwhelmed point of view, I know we're going to get into it, but it really is, you're never going to solve it in your head. Now, that's the first thing. Like when people sit there and they've got 97 things going on in their head, it's like a big bowl of soup. And this just get mixed around and around and around. You're never, ever, ever going to solve it in your head. It's about get it down, then get it right. I'm sure we're going to talk through the specific steps over the course of the next 30 minutes.
Let's get straight into the items. The first one is, are you always busy and have so much to do? Is it constant overwhelm for you? I guess there's a little bit of space that you may have in your life, and whether that's just having a sleep, right? But we've got to think about what it is that we are all busy about. What is the idea of us being so busy, and what is that really going to achieve?
Well, I think there's a few things we're busy. Firstly, I know plenty of people that if you said to them, do this task in a week, it'd take them a week. And if you said to the same people, this task needs to be done in a day, they'd do it in a day. Right. So it's a case of prioritizing and the level of importance. So people are filling out their time claiming that they're busy, but they're not being that busy at all. Can we find time? Of course we can. Of course we can. We all have time. Stop kidding ourselves. I even appreciate those that have got 97,000 things going on. We've still got time. We've still got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. In a 24-hour cycle, you have got 5, 10 or 15 minutes that you can start to work on if you're feeling overwhelmed. Start to get things down. So we all have time. I recognise that people have a lot on and juggle a lot of balls, and I know plenty of people who do it, but we do have time. And it's about really challenging ourselves. When is that time? And again, it's not so much a time thing, it's a priority thing. Like I said, if there is something that's urgent that needs to be done, we tend to find a way, right? We tend to find a way to make that happen. So when things they shift from important to urgent, then all of a sudden our level of focus gets onto that. And that's what, procrastination. Think about procrastination. Procrastination, we keep kicking the can down the road. We kick it down, we avoid things. All of a sudden, that deadline that 3 weeks ago, it was like in 3 weeks into the future, that deadline is tomorrow. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, holy hell, and you find a way and you scramble, and you might have a late night, you might cram or whatever it might be, but you find a way to make it happen. So we all have time.
Christine says, yes, Luke, many pieces. Ken Murray says, I'm feeling good. I have a 4-week plan. Queensland in 6 weeks from the 1st of July. 4 weeks equals 1 day at a time. Absolutely. Well said, Ken. Sean says, we don't have half an hour to stop and think. Take an hour, says Jay Shetty.
100%. We have time. We have absolute time. And it's about just challenging ourselves on how we're currently spending our time. And if you are someone who genuinely sits there and says, well, no, I don't believe I've got any time, Tony, I'd encourage you to do an audit. I'd encourage you to audit how you're spending your days, because you'll find time.
I wonder if some people I don't have time to do the audit, Tony.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But again, that's the issue, right? Those people who say, well, I haven't got time to just fill something in, that's the deeper issue. We've all got time.
Is it a case that people don't want to take those 2 steps back to go that 10 steps forward?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is, but then if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not progressing, right? You're not progressing. So do you sit in a state of overwhelm and get more and more frustrated, and what you think about expands? And so you start off thinking about overwhelm and it's about this big, and then you think about it and think about it and think about it. Now you've got this big immovable object. How is that helping, right? By having this massive immovable object in front of you versus take the time. It's so for example, when what's the saying? When people go and chop down a tree, when axe men or women, axe people go and chop down a tree, what do they say? They spend the majority of their time sharpening the saw, right? And then the actual, saw on the wood component is very little. What does that mean? They spend an enormous amount of their time planning, sharpening, making sure that the saw is absolutely pristine, so then it can, slice through the wood like a hot knife through butter.
Absolutely. Ken says, I have too much time, but I'm okay with it.
Congratulations, Ken. That's awesome, right? And so if you've got too much time, that's sensational, right? I love it. So it sounds like Ken's not feeling overwhelmed right now, which is great. Congratulations.
Maybe he's just serving to help other people. Say, he runs a business, right? And there's a lot of moving pieces to his life. But, maybe Ken's got, and this is our next item that we want to talk about, what are the priorities? Maybe Ken's really sorted out his priorities, where it is, what he wants to do each and every day. Now, admittedly, I had a late night last night, got to bed around 2:30 a.m. So it was a late one. Anyhow, I got up this morning before my alarm, went for a run, and I'm here on the Sunday Mindset Session.
Yeah.
And I could be in a situation where the event, the real estate event that I'm attending today and tomorrow has started, but my priorities are here. Do I feel overwhelmed about not being in attendance to that event? No. Number one priority is to be here right now, to be present right now. If I'm thinking about, what am I missing out? That FOMO factor can also give us a state of overwhelm as well, Tony. Yeah. And, we've just got to think about being present, thinking about where we are and what's most important to us right at this single moment.
Well, so I say it often. For those who've watched the last 103 episodes, there's a Japanese saying which is called Ichigo Ichi, and it means treasure every moment, for it'll never happen again. Get incredibly present wherever you are, whatever you're doing, get incredibly present with that particular moment, and then move on to the next moment. Will Luke and I talk again? Of course we will. But this moment on the 30th of May at 8-something in the morning will never happen again. And so it's a case of get present on this moment, get present on every moment, treasure every moment, for they will never happen again.
Is that a simple step, Tony, to think about overcoming the overwhelm?
So for me, the first thing so that could be that's one way. But the first thing for overwhelm is to write stuff down. Take the time to write stuff down. All the things that you think you've got going on in your head, those 97 things, just write them all down on a piece of paper. That would be the first step for me. Get it out of your head. And the saying is, get it down. Then
realizing sometimes that, or having a knowing within yourself that things can wait.
Exactly. And that's where, when you can see things in front of you, and this is through my own personal experience and also what I teach my clients, when you see things in front of you, you can then start to prioritize stuff out. When you're trying to solve it in your head, so I've got to do that. Oh, shit, I've got to do that. Oh, I've got to do that. Oh, bloody hell, I haven't done that. Da-da-da. Write stuff down. Get it down, then get it right. Get it down. Don't be a perfectionist. Just get it all down, and then start to be like a renovator, not a renovator. Well, a renovator could create something, but a panel beater and bang it into shape. That's what I was trying to say. So,
panel beater and bang it into shape.
Bang it into shape. Be like a panel beater.
Priorities into shape.
Bang everything into shape. Get it down, then get it right. And it's about, a lot of people won't get it down because it's about, and everything needs to be perfect. Whereas I say, just get it on paper. And there's a real power in the old-fashioned way, grabbing a pen and a piece of paper like you are now and writing something down. Like, it's just incredibly therapeutic, and we don't do it enough. We tend to type a lot of stuff, or we might be, using the thumbs on the phone to do notes and whatnot. I do all this stuff too, but from a planning point of view, it's great to be able to write something down.